biggest mistake that Victorville, California home sellers are doing in today's market. So that's what you and me are going to be talking about in this video. Okay. We're going to break down a couple of things that I feel that you should be doing if you're a home seller. And we're going to break down a couple of things that I feel you shouldn't be doing as a home seller. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. So like always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, or leave a comment down below if you're liking what I'm doing with my channel. Okay. Angélica Bonilla here, like always. Okay, let's get into what I wanted to tell you. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, okay, things I think you should be doing as a home seller. Okay, a lot of home sellers right now are getting really low offers. Okay, like low ball offers. That's what we call it. Okay, but it doesn't mean that just because you get a low ball offer, an offer that you feel it's not the right price for your home, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your agent and you sit down and discuss the offer, number one. And number two, send out a counter offer. Okay, I'm telling all of my sellers, don't get offended by the offer. Don't take it personal. Go ahead, let's do the right thing. Let's respond to the offer by sending a counter offer. Okay, there's going to be things that you as a seller are not going to agree with what the buyer is asking, and that's going to be okay. Go ahead. A counter offer is something that the seller can send out saying, okay, buyer, I agree with these items and I don't agree with these items. So I'm going to go ahead and counter you. You go ahead and you talk to your agent and see if you and me can come into an agreement. Okay, hold on, guys. My ear. Okay. So I'm telling my sellers, don't get offended by the offer. Let's sit down, let's talk about the offer, and let's prepare a counter offer and see if we can get you, the seller, and the buyer to meet in the middle, or see what terms you could agree on and see what terms you're not going to agree on. Okay, so that's my biggest takeaway, is don't be afraid to send out a counter offer to let the buyer know what you're willing to negotiate and what you're not willing to negotiate. That way you're both on the same page and both of you can be happy, the seller and the buyer. So that was a main thing for me. Okay, what's another thing I think you as a seller need to keep in mind? Because I was talking to a seller today that wants to move from an area to move into a different area. So like I told him, because he's was telling me that the neighbor has the house on the market and they had it at a certain price point. And I told him, I understand, but what we're really going to be looking at is we're not going to be looking at homes that are active on the market. Okay, so what's a home that's active on the market? It's a house that has not received no offers. Okay, so what if they haven't received an offer from a buyer? That means that the price point that they listed their home at is not aligned with that neighborhood. So what does that mean? Meaning that they overpriced the listing maybe, and they're getting no offers. So how could you, I'm sorry, the seller, take that active listing or that home that's for sale under consideration for the price point that you want to put your home on the market. Okay, just a little food for thought for if you're a home seller, really think about that. Okay, if the home hasn't sold, that means they're not priced correctly, or the condition is not great. But if you're seeing that the home maybe has better upgrades than your home, and you still want to list it at that same price, maybe you need to reconsider that because it's still, your house is going to be active on the market and it probably won't sell at that price. Okay, so my advice to you as a seller is maybe consider not taking those homes that are still for sale into consideration when thinking about what you can really sell your house for, okay, in today's market. What I want you to look at is actual houses that have sold in the area. That's where you're going to be seeing and comparing your house to houses that have actually sold. So just a little recommendation. What's another? Sorry, what's another thing that I wrote down? Oh, okay. Overpricing your home. Okay, when you overprice your home, what's going to happen? It's going to stay on the market for 50, for 30, 90 days. And either the buyer is going to think something's wrong with the home because it still hasn't sold, or you're having, or there's a problem with the property and that's why it hasn't sold. Okay, so the longer your house stays on the market, buyers are going to think that there's something wrong with the property. So consider pricing the home at a price that's going to cause the home to sell. Okay, so I hope those little tips give you some insight and help you make a better decision with dealing with the housing market right now in Victorville, California. Okay, so I made a little list, okay, of not a good idea to be doing in today's market in Victorville, California. Okay, so number one is overpricing your home. Number two, not agreeing to do some repairs on your property if repairs are needed in order for your buyer or the buyer of your home to get their loan. Okay, so these are called lender requested repairs. Okay, so the lender's gonna, not the lender, the appraisal is gonna call out some repairs that you might need to do to your property in order for the buyer to get the home loan that they're qualifying for to buy your house. Okay, so as a seller, I'm just giving you advice so that you can consider at least doing those type of home repairs. Okay. Number three is not agreeing to pay for closing costs. Right now, you are going to see offers that are you're going to receive offers that are going to have buyers asking you for closing costs. Okay, there's There's just no way around it. Some buyers probably don't have all of the funds to buy a home, but they do want to be a homeowner. So they're asking you, the seller, to help them pay their closing costs, and then they come in with their down payment. So maybe consider helping the buyer with closing costs, okay? What I was seeing also is that the seller is wanting, or you, the seller, are going to be wanting for the buyer to stack on top of the price the closing costs for the house. Okay, so what does that mean? Meaning that if you list your home for 350, the buyer's asking for 6,000 or 7,000 in closing costs. Now you want the buyer to send you an offer at 357. So that's what we mean by stacking the closing cost to the price. Okay, but you also need to keep in mind, what if the appraisal gets ordered, goes out, and now you already agreed to all of you have already agreed as a seller to pay for closing costs, but now the appraisal did not come in at the 357. Okay, so what does that mean for you as a seller? That means you already agreed to pay the closing costs. So even though the house didn't appraise, now the buyer is going to want you uh, to reconsider, okay, the appraised value of the home, because they're not going to be able to qualify for the loan, right? Because the house didn't appraise. So they're going to want the house for the price that the loan appraised at. So that means that you as a seller are going to have to consider the price that the property got appraised for. Let's say the property got appraised for 350, okay? And now you're having to pay the 7,000 from the 350 anyways. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that information. I hope it makes sense. I'm trying to help you by giving you examples of what can happen, or what you can be facing as a home seller in today's market, okay? So again, this is Angélica Bonilla with Excellence Real Estate and the HD and the Bonilla Group. Thank you so much for watching.